Sup flappers. So big news, I was finally able to set up membership for this channel. So now if you want to take your support to the next level, you can become a channel member, also known as a Tusk. So now we will have the Flapper gang, and then we will also have a Tusk gang, you know, because walruses have tusks. They use tusks to eat, to chip ice, to do a lot of things, and without their tusks, they can become very helpless. So essentially, if you become a channel member, you will become Tusk. So with that said, we have different tiers. We got bronze, silver, gold. It's very basic, very standard. However, do not feel like you're obligated to become a channel member. It's just there as an option now for those who have asked for it. As you all know, I do not have a Twitch sub button, so this is the only way for people to take their support to the next level. And I do thank every one of you who has supported my channel to get us to this point to even qualify for channel membership. So that this is now an option, make sure you have your YouTube and Discord linked, so this way I'm able to distribute to you the special role that comes with being a channel member. You may also navigate to Discord to see the corresponding roles and see what kind of privileges you will have. So with that being said, thank you for going through this intro with me, and thank you all again for making this possible. Now let's get right into the video. So over the past few days, as people pick up KeQing, I have been getting a ton of comments for Electro team builds, and it's gotten to the point where I can't answer them all. So I'm making this video to share some Electro team comps that I have played and tested KeQing with. These teams range from free-to-play friendly to some all-round busted 5-star teams, so I will be showing each team on screen as we discuss them. Also, please remember that not all teams will be functioning at full capacity because I can't level all my characters to level 80 with max build weapons. Instead, they will all be level 60, Ascension 4, with decent artifacts at around plus 12 to plus 16. I think this is good enough to get a representation for reactions and synergies. Remember, timestamps are always below, so navigate around the video according to what you need. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first team is KeQing main DPS, XingQiu support DPS, Bennett healer, and Fischl elemental support. This team has two variations where you can also change Fischl for Sucrose, but let me show you with Fischl first. This is an incredibly powerful team where you can use off-meta synergies such as Electro Charge and High Voltage to highlight KeQing's wide area attacks and spam skills. In this clip, you should see that KeQing's burst skill is always ready and takes pressure off of having to find enough energy recharge in your kit to assure KeQing's burst skill is used on cooldown. Also, XingQiu's hydro application and off-field support is invaluable in order for this to work, as the goal is to keep KeQing on the field and switch out sometimes to reapply applications or drop Fischl for more damage. Bennett is just an all-rounder here and just doing Bennett things. So now let me show you the variation with Sucrose instead. For this, you will lose high voltage, but in exchange you get more powerful and effective reactions. So expect a change in playstyle here as well, as you should be looking to proc reactions more. With Sucrose talent, you really need to have a good understanding of elemental mastery and reactions to make the most out of it, which puts this team with 4 different elements at a very high skill level to pilot. Now trust me, you may think it's as simple as vaporize go, you know, but in a team where KeQing is your main carry, we are more likely to focus on electro reactions. But with Bennett's burst skill, it's difficult to time reactions, so what you likely will end up having is uncontrolled reactions going all over the place, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but less control means less optimized DPS. As you can see, this is a very chaotic team that is fun, but I would not recommend it because I am not able to have KeQing's burst skill up off cooldown, and you would likely need to push for over 150% energy recharge if you wanted that. So for those of you who have completely stacked artifacts, go for this one. However, for the most of you, you can simply avoid that by building the first team. But if you insist on playing Sucrose, then I do have another team for you to try out. So let's go take a look at that. So for the third team, we have KeQing main DPS, Beidou support DPS, Bennett healer, and Sucrose elemental support. This team essentially just becomes an electro focus with overload mixed in. It can be played as a Beidou support with 20% field time, or a 50-50 split between KeQing and Beidou depending on how you prefer to do it. As Beidou's burst skill can transfer between all members, this is a team with good defense as well. Do not underestimate the high voltage resonance in this team because for KeQing and Beidou, both of their bursts will be up almost always off cooldown. With Beidou, you need around 160 plus energy recharge to get it to 100% uptime, but as you can see in this video, Electro Shield with Sucrose Pyro Swirl can consistently proc overload while keeping mobs CC'd. And since we only have to manage 2 elements, you know exactly what reaction will happen at when you want it to happen. Now for the 4th team, we have 2 variations again. For the free-to-play, you can run KeQing main DPS, Xiangling support DPS, Bennett healer, and Sucrose elemental support. Or for the spenders, you can run KeQing main DPS, Klee or Diluc support DPS, Bennett healer, and Venti elemental support. In any case, you always want to run Venti over Sucrose unless you are trying to do some 1 billion damage showcase with Mona, Bennett, and Sucrose. Yeah, so for normal gameplay, you always want to run Venti over Sucrose. But for the sake of this video, I will show you the F2P team's performance first. It's actually pretty straightforward. You essentially just have to focus on your overload timing. You don't want to be using overload wrong and end up scattering the mobs, which have you chase after them, ultimately taking longer to kill the mobs. Sucrose can do the job well to keep mobs locked in place, so KeQing can kill them. The double Pyro resonance is very nice to have here as well. Also, double Pyro batteries will allow Xiangling and Bennett's burst to be up much more often, which is incredibly good when fighting elite mobs or bosses. I would say this is a great Abyss team. It's cheap to build and the units here are very versatile. So now, of course, for reference, I will show you as well the team with Klee and Venti substituting in for Xiangling and Sucrose. The main difference here is how much more efficient Venti's burst is compared to Sucrose. Oftentimes, you will find that you don't even have to do anything. Once you shoot out Venti's burst, the fight is mostly over. I don't think there is much to say about this, as whenever you have Venti on your team, it doesn't matter who you're trying to showcase, it immediately becomes a Venti showcase. But regarding Klee, if you don't have her as C4, which I'm guessing most of you won't, and that includes myself, my Klee is just at Constellation 0. I'm using her mostly for her bombs and Pyro application. As for my Pyro support DPS for Electro KeQing, I am always running the 4-piece Crimson Witch set for that overload bonus. You can see Bennett's burst is pretty much used off cooldown, which makes your team unkillable. This is definitely an upgraded version of the previous team, so do try it out if you have these characters. Now let's visit one more insane team. This team is KeQing main DPS, Beidou support DPS, Bennett healer, and Zhongli elemental support. This team is another powerful team, and with the buff on Geo Resonance, you get both offense and defense mixed in one. Beidou support DPS capabilities are just out of this world, and combined with Zhongli's Jade Shield, this team has insane damage output. So of course, just like any Geo team, you never have to budge an inch. You are never in any situation ever close to dying, and at the same time, you deal some outrageous damage with Bennett boosting and Zhongli debuffing. I honestly don't know what MiHoYo was thinking with those Zhongli and Geo buffs, but hey, this is definitely one of, if not the best ways to play Electro KeQing. And in this clip, I am not using Zhongli's burst because that'll just make this showcase way too out of hand. So I'm just focusing on KeQing's damage with Zhongli's Jade Shield debuffing, and of course Beidou's support DPS capabilities. Now I've shown you a lot of these teams, but as always, I know you will be asking in the comments regarding other variations and pairings. So in this section, I will go over the reasons why I did not mention other characters, starting with Tartaglia. So the thing with Child is that his Hydro application can only be done while he is on field. While yes, you can rely on the marked targets to die and apply Hydro that way, it's still more hassle and trickier to make him work as seamless as XingQiu does. So for that reason, I did not include him. This doesn't mean he is bad, it's just you can get better for cheaper with XingQiu for what we are trying to demonstrate here. For those who have Child and XingQiu, you can definitely run Child with Electro KeQing, it works fine. So essentially what I'm saying is, it's not worth to build up an entire XingQiu just to run with KeQing if you already have a level 80 Tartaglia. Now onwards to Mona. So why have I not included Mona for Electro KeQing pairings? Well, the reason is that while Mona provides good Hydro application, her burst skill just doesn't work well with KeQing, as KeQing's first hit already procs it. So you don't ever end up making the most out of Mona's ultimate. And also, while her Hydro application is great and better than Tartaglia, it still falls short of how consistent XingQiu can provide Hydro applications. Now, for those who are wondering, what about Barbara? You know, Barbara, KeQing, shouldn't it just work wonderfully. Well, the thing is, Barbara falls short compared to Bennett in every single sector, and you just have better hydro applicators out there who does more damage. And Bennett essentially is just the single best character to pair with Electro KeQing. As you can see, I never took him out of any team suggestions. I do think if you're running Electro KeQing, always have Bennett as your healer and buffer. So now let's talk a little bit about cryo synergies and Superconduct. While there is an argument to be made for Superconduct, I felt that you have better options with Electro Charge and Overload. For mobs, you have Electro Charge, and for elite mobs and bosses, you have Overload. Both of these perform better than Superconduct in their respective fields, and with proper team synergies, you can even cover for weaknesses. So that's why I have not included Superconduct teams in this team showcase. Of course, I did not cover every possible pairing for Electro KeQing, but I feel that the teams mentioned and showcased in this video are definitely top contenders for free-to-play players. Now, if you have any more questions, I suggest you join my Discord where we are constantly helping players to build and optimize their teams. Link will be in the description below. So this is it for the video. Remember to like and subscribe if this video has helped out. If you're looking to take your support to the next level, you can also become a member on the channel. This gives you special perks both on this channel as well as in the Discord. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe and peace.